Let's go to the phone lines, 888-480-JOHN, where we have Christine in Northern Virginia. Christine, welcome.
Hey, John, it's been a while.
I know, long time, no talk.
Yeah, I just had to call in because I think your last call was a great example of Ann Coulter's side. So I'm going to play devil's advocate with you, okay? I'm the forgotten man, okay? No one's talking about me anymore. What are we talking about? The DACA kids. All right? So the U.S. federal government is there for me, a U.S. citizen. They're supposed to enact policies to help me. And I feel like I'm completely forgotten in all this. We're not talking about me anymore and how much money I'm paying for illegal immigration, how my hospitals are affected, they get free college, my kids don't, the cost to my sheriff's department, education, the burden on me. All we're talking about is the DACA kids. And that's my problem with the deal. And one of my other big problems is some of the wording he used. I feel like I went back in time. We need to build trust and goodwill and reach across the aisle. Who do I need to build trust and goodwill with? El Salvador? The Democrats?
Well, you have a divided government, Christine. He can't get anything done. He's got to work across the aisle. We lost the election, right? We lost the House in 2018. I mean, they have a majority.
When do they have to reach across the aisle?
Well, because you have to work together. I mean, what if is your solution just shut the government down in perpetuity? Is that it? Do nothing? I mean, what's the alternative?
Obama grew the government by 20%, and that was something Trump run on, was reducing it. And yeah, you could reduce it right now. These are non-essential. What does that mean, non-essential?
Look,
it's not we're a lot less affected now than we were by the collapse in 2008.
It is.
That has nothing to do with this. We're talking about the wall. We build the wall. Where's their trust and goodwill? They ruined our trust with Reagan when he made a deal with them.
They don't have trust and goodwill.
They need to build trust.
They don't have trust and goodwill, but they beat us in 2018. They gained 40 seats. I deal in the real world, okay? They gained 40 seats, and the president can't get McConnell to get rid of the mommy hide behind the apron 60 vote cloture rule, because that's really what it is. So he can't get McConnell to do that, and we lost 40 seats. So what do you do now? You just sit there and do nothing? I mean, he's got to get something done.
Build the wall. Meantime, he can build the wall. The way he came out. There's two sides fighting here. There's the old guard, which is McConnell and them, right? Oh, we're going to reach across the aisle. What about Trump's snake story? This is what it feels like. We're getting on the back of that snake, and they're saying, "Trust me, trust me."
I don't think so. I don't think he said that at all. The president has gone to them. Look, if he were to open the government up and negotiate for 3 weeks, then it would be the back of the snake. But he has proposed a deal, which I think is a reasonable compromise. And look, at the end of the day, Christine, you're not going to deport the DACA kids. You're not going to do it. You're never going to do it.
See, again, you were talking about the DACA kids. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about me.
Well, we are talking about you, and part of you is getting the money to build a wall to stop the open border situation.
No,
that affects you.
Talk about getting the money to build the wall, not the DACA kids.
Well, he's got to negotiate something. He's trying to negotiate. I mean, they're not going to give him the money.
How much money the wall is what we need to negotiate?
He's asking for $5.7 billion. They won't give it to him. So he's trying to negotiate and put pressure on them. Why is this a bad thing? Okay. Why is trying to make a deal so he can get the money for the wall to stop the open border situation, which is what you're claiming is your number one issue because that affects you and your family, and he's trying to get that done, and he's negotiating away something you're not going to ever do anyway, which is get deportation for 700,000 kids brought here illegally. You're never going to do it. So he's negotiating something that doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. And he's putting the Democrats in a position where they have to say, screw the kids. Political power is more important to me. That's the position he's put them in, which I think is brilliant. So I don't see your argument.
He has completely changed from where he was when he was alone in the White House at Christmas. He can also go down there and militarize the border.
He could do that tomorrow. He might still do that.
Corps of Engineer down there.
He might still do that, Christine. You don't get it. Look, you and John and others.
I do get it.
No, you don't get it.
What about me? What about the forgotten man?
He's trying.
That is how I feel as a forgotten man. That my voice just got.
Christine, he's fought.
Humanitarian. What a humanitarian crisis!
He's fought for
humanitarian crisis.
He's fought for two. Well, look,
it's a man-made humanitarian crisis. But what about me? What about the tax money I'm paying for all this illegal problem?
This is a number of issues. They're saying there's a humanitarian crisis. Now, I have said that they changed the reason for the wall from economics and open borders and overrunning our schools and hospitals and welfare and, changing the vote makeup to humanitarian crisis. I mean, it's political posturing. I mean, you have to see this whole thing. And there is a humanitarian crisis.
That's it. That was exactly it.
Yeah, there is a humanitarian crisis.
But change of the messaging, I don't have a voice anymore.
Sure you have a voice.
Our voice.
If he sold out, you wouldn't have a voice. Offering a negotiation to get the money for the wall from the Democrats and try to divide their ranks in a divided government is not a cave. I mean, if he were to reopen the government and throw his hands up, then that would be a cave. He's not done that. He said, I'll keep the thing shut down through 2020. What he's done is he has put the Democrats in a position now where they have to respond to this. And if they took the deal, or don't take the deal. If they don't take the deal, this becomes the number one issue either way of the 2020 campaign. Either way, it becomes the central thing.
Yeah, I get that it was a messaging thing to the American public, even though they're not going to play. I guess that's my part of it is it never works. Because the media is going to completely ignore this speech. They didn't even play it on the major, CBS, NBC, those. They're going to ignore it. They're never going to bring it up. They're never going to talk about it. And most people aren't even going to know he did this on any kind of, large scale. It never works. And that's what's frustrating is watching this. Like I said, I feel I'm back at the word reach across the aisle. I'm from Arizona, the McCain world. It never worked. You know what we did is we didn't reach across the aisle. We went across the aisle and we progressively went left, and left. And, where's the fight? So I get what you're trying to say, but I think it's not going to work. It never has before. And Nancy said, we asked Nancy, I think he was doing a better job showing their lack of goodwill. It's a divided government. We're not going to fix that with this.
They've rejected it anyway, so what's the difference? I mean, they're not going to go for it anyway, but it certainly is putting pressure on some Democrats that they're going to have to answer to this. And so now they're taking...
That's it right there. Because if they rejected it anyway, yet your whole show and all your call-ins aren't about, they rejected it, look how bad the Democrats are, they're so awful, they want our money, they want to hurt us. Your things is DACA kids, how we have to make a deal. No, we don't. I'm being hurt. When the Democrats are hurting me, that's what we should be talking about.
Well, that's not going to get you the votes to get the wall and to open the government and to get this resolved. I mean, that is an obstinate view that is not going to get you. Look, we elected a guy that had a certain set of positions. He's never wavered off of any of them. And what annoys me is when Ann Coulter and others say that the president has caved and sold out his base. How has he sold out his base? The government is shut down. He's trying to get money for the wall. Paul Ryan sold him out for 19 months in there, never got the money for it, empty promises, and now he's trying to get a down payment to get a barrier so that he can secure the borders and move forward with a bigger picture.
So he's repeating. He's repeating his Paul Ryan mistake right?
Well, he's not repeating the Paul Ryan mistake. He shut the government down. What do you guys want him to do? What can the man do? The government is shut down.
We want him to declare a national emergency.
Don't get it. He will do that when he has to, when every other possible avenue has been exhausted. Here's what he said. I would prefer to get a legislative solution to this problem, and I'm going to try my hardest to get a deal done. If I can't, that's my other option. As soon as you do that, all your leverage is gone to get a legislative deal. He might do that. But right now, if the Democrats took this deal, it would be a brilliant win for the president, because you're not going to deport them. You're not going to deport them. You are not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. He's not going to do it. And Colt is not going to do it.
About them. This is not about deportation.
It's a deal. The wall. It is. Well, he's getting the money for the wall. I don't know what you're talking about. He's getting the money for the wall if they do this deal. And if they reject it, he's going to keep the government shut down or do a national emergency, try to put the wall up. It'll get stopped by a judge the next day. It'll go to the Supreme Court, and either way, this is the issue for 2020. So I don't know what your problem is.
What does that mean? What does that mean, stop by? Obama passed Obamacare and instantly had a lot of lawsuits. Didn't stop him. Where do we have to Mother May I to the courts?
You know what? I don't know what planet you're living on, Christine, but we have a system of government in this country. And so if he attempts to build a wall with a national emergency, a judge in the Ninth Circuit is going to stop it. You have laws in the country. Otherwise, you have chaos. Then it's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. It's going to go to the Supreme. That doesn't matter what Obama did. The Supreme Court approved through John Roberts Obamacare. It went to the Supreme Court. Had John Roberts voted no, it would have got shot down.
Okay, but now we're way off topic. I want to know why no one's talking about me, why we're talking about the DACA.
We are talking about you. DACA is simply a negotiation.
This is my government. They're there for me.
We weren't talking about DACA.
All we're talking about is non-citizen. I mean, I want to talk about us. This is the thing with the messaging, and that's what you kind of hit it. The problem, people like Ann Coulter, and Ann Coulter is just holding your feet to the fire. Someone's got to be on the other side. We can't all sit around being a little blue, ooh, chop. Someone's got to keep his feet to the fire. And, and there might be a lot more people out there who feel like that. We don't want H-1B visas. We want a wall.
That's
what the focus needs to be.
Has proposed.
I don't like the messaging going into this.
Look, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight the messaging. This, Christine. Look, I'm not going to argue with their messaging. Okay, but every single thing that you've mentioned has been a centerpiece of what this president has proposed in immigration reform. He can't get it done right now. Now, he's not a dictator. You have three branches of government. So I don't know what you want the guy to do. He's doing his best as he can to get where we're going. And so what do you expect him to do? You know what? If you delivered,
he tried this with Paul Ryan and it didn't work.
Well,
it didn't work trusting him. And now he's going to,
he's not going to do anything. He simply made a proposal. He's not doing anything. He made a proposal. He made a proposal to try to get a legislative solution. The Democrats rejected it. Now we have to go on from here. But I'm telling you, this talk about selling out his base, and it's just nonsense. It is absolute nonsense, devoid of any reasonable relation to political reality.
That's being ridiculous.
No, that's what Ann Coulter said.
I mean, again, who are we trying to build trust with? The Democrats or El Salvador? He meant the Democrats. He's got to govern with a divided Congress. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Christine. Here's what you guys should have done. Delivered him a Republican conservative Congress in 2018. You didn't do it. And I didn't do it. So now we got to deal with the hand we're dealt. And will he do a national emergency? They never did that, but they never did it, John. They never dealt with a divided government, governed with a divided government.
Christine, we eviscerated the entire Republican field in 2016. We have changed the Republican Party to the party of Trump. It takes time, man. This is a revolution in the Republican Party. I mean, you just don't win in 2016, change everything, change all the policies, and all of a sudden it's going your way. I mean, you still got the Paul Ryans. You still have the Goldman Sachs Republican.
Pushed through a lot more policies in 6 months, but like you said, but we also won the Senate, so don't act like we had this complete defeat.
I didn't say that.
We won the Senate.
You did win this.
All right,
we did win this.
This is the
all right, I gotta go.
In the party.
I got to go.
And they should be appointing judges and appointing all these positions, and the Senate's not even doing that. And
what?
My side of
the Senate's not doing that.
Play this like a battle.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. Look, Christine, I had to cut you off, okay? Because now you're just spewing out nonsense, okay? Mitch McConnell and the Senate, whether you like him or not, Mitch McConnell has gotten through more judges in the shortest period of time than the history of the creation of the Republic of the United States. He set records, and he's prioritized these judges. So I don't even know what you're talking about now. Now it's just a rant. Now, I don't like everything McConnell does, and I don't like the 60-vote cloture rule. But he's certainly been with the president on the wall, and he's certainly been with the president on getting a record number of Trump conservative judges through at the lower level at a breathtaking pace never been seen before. 4.5 times what Obama did. So, look, guys, this is becoming nonsensical now. It's becoming hysterical rants. We're going from ERAs to now, Trump sold out his base because he offered a deal in a divided government that doesn't matter anyway. Let's just think of a bigger picture here, right? If he goes through with this deal, this is why his deal was brilliant and why Ann Coulter missed it. If they take it, you win. If they don't take it, you win again because you take it to 2020. And you have to deal with the hand you're dealt. And, I mean, the president caving. Look, they changed their message on the wall because they said it was a border crisis. And it is a crisis. So that crisis dictated a change in their messaging. From my message, which is open borders means overrunning schools, overrunning hospitals, no country, they get more votes because that's really what they want. To an economic chaos, to there's a crisis, a humanitarian crisis at border, which there is. Both of them are true. They simply changed their position. That's all. 888-480-JOHN. 888-480-4SEND. John in Yorktown says, how is amnesty winning? It is not amnesty, John. Stop reading Ann Coulter. It is not amnesty. A 3-year extension for what somebody already has with no pathway to citizenship, John, is not amnesty. You are not going to deport them. You're not. So it is simply not amnesty. So stop spewing out this stuff. It's not helpful. Mary in Richmond, you're on the air, Mary.
John, how are you today?
Never better.
My thinking is President Trump is no dummy, and I believe he's giving the Democrats enough rope so they can hang themselves.
Agreed.
That's how I look at it. You have to look at all of the things that he has done in the past. He just sits back. He gets a little bit of rope, a little bit of rope, a little bit of rope. And that's just how I look at it. So why everybody is getting so hysterical, I don't know. And I just wanted to give you that little bit of my tidbit for the day.
Well, look.
And you have a great day.
Thank you, Mary. Trump's base goes nuts over the A word, amnesty. No one wants amnesty, nor will the president ever give amnesty. And you can say that something today turns into something else tomorrow. You don't know that. The president has been very clear and very consistent in his positions on amnesty. And he has said no amnesty. He has simply given a 3-year extension. And Amy from Fairfax had the perfect solution that it might come to in any immigration reform reconciliation or bill or legislation is that, they might get permanent alien resident status. You have to do something. You are not going to deport them. I remember having this argument the last time. It's an insane argument. They're not going to self-deport. You're not going to deport them. But you just can't give them amnesty because then it opens the door. Then everybody's just coming because everybody get amnesty and it's a magnet. But that's what the Democrats want because they want to replenish their vote base. And that's what the Republicans of the Paul Ryan wing want because they want cheap labor because that makes more money for their Goldman Sachs donors who give them the money to stay in power. That's the unholy alliance that plays out in front of your eyes every single day. And then they mask it by ridiculous programs like Catch and Release.